So, rousing reception that the Prime Minister received upon his arrival there in Sri Lanka, and what has now been said of his visit, which is certainly significant as India is expected to ink about 7 pacts with Sri Lanka. And this could include an agreement on defence cooperation, which could only further boost India's relations with the island nation when it comes to defence. As Times Now has been reporting from Colombo, where Vashni has been taking us through what's expected as part of the Prime Minister's visit. Let's take a look exactly why it matters as far as when it comes to the Prime Minister's 3-day state visit to Sri Lanka is concerned. He is the first foreign leader to be hosted by the incumbent Sri Lankan President Dissanayake. Also the first visit after Sri Lanka plunged into financial crisis, if we remember what happened back in 2022. Now, what is expected that 7 pacts at least would be signed with Sri Lanka. These are the MOUs which are now said that the agreements would vary from defence cooperation, that is also expected, and also could signal when it comes to the upward trajectory in India-Sri Lanka ties as well. So let's get connected with Vashni, who is joining us from Colombo, and also Srinjoy is also with us right now. Good morning to both of you. Vashni, in a short while we're expecting live pictures to come in of the Prime Minister. What and how is his today's day looking like? If you can tell us about today's engagements.
Well, yes, we are at the Independence Square in Colombo in Sri Lanka, and this is where the Prime Minister is about to receive a government welcome, a ceremonial welcome, a grand welcome. Like you can see right behind me, the Sri Lankan military is lined up to receive the Prime Minister. Last night at around 9:30 p.m., he arrived in Colombo and he met a lot of Indian diaspora people, and they all greeted him with a warm welcome. And today morning, the Sri Lankan government is conducting this ceremonial welcome as an official government honor to the Prime Minister of India. And after this, he will be heading straight to the Presidential Secretariat, where he will be holding talks with the Sri Lankan President Anurakumara Dissanayake. And this talks will be followed by, the agreement signing, where the delegations will also be present. And this agreement signing today, almost nearly 10 agreements are likely to be signed. It is all about the bilateral trade, the defense agreement that everybody is talking about, and also agreements about power, energy, digitalization. There are so many infrastructure. There are so many things that the Sri Lankan government and the people are looking forward to get aid and support from India. And the Prime Minister is here to discuss on all of these issues and see what kind of projects or what kind of schemes that can be taken forward for the benefit of both India and Sri Lanka, and to strengthen its relationship. While everybody is talking about how China is also a big threat, while as they are also having a lot of plans and ideas to build their relationship with Sri Lanka. What we are witnessing is India is the first country that has always been lending its support to Sri Lanka.
We'll speak about as far as India's neighbourhood first policy is also concerned. As Vashni is getting us the live pictures shortly, we will be expecting the pictures to come in also of the Prime Minister, as preparations in the background are in full swing at Colombo's Independence Square, where the Prime Minister is expected to receive the Guard of Honour, followed by formal talks with the Sri Lankan President. Now, Srinjoy, as far as Prime Minister's visit is also concerned, off late, as far as the importance that has now been given to the neighbours, whether be it the crisis-ridden and devastated by earthquake Myanmar is concerned, the tensions that have been taking place in Bangladesh with Mohammed Yunus' visit and talks are also concerned, and now with the current visit to Sri Lanka. What does it imply?
Well, first of all, the Sri Lankans realize that India has always been there whenever they needed any help. The best example is probably the last economic crisis that Sri Lankan faced. This was as a result, partly, of the Sri Lankan government's decision to not use fertilizers and have a sort of green policy vis-a-vis agriculture. As a result, because it was done too quickly, well-intentioned, but too quickly, agricultural output, cash crop output like tea plummeted. There was no foreign exchange. The economic crisis was severe. That was the time when one country stood by Sri Lanka, and that was India. And this is something Sri Lanka has not forgotten. So that is something that they are very grateful about. As far as India is concerned, yes, we heard about China just now. There have been inroads made by China in Sri Lanka in some ways. But India is going to make this very clear to Sri Lanka, as India has in the past, that look here, if you're going to get Chinese warships into your ports, then this is a bit of a security concern for India, especially if it's submarines. That hasn't happened in at least a year. But this is a point that India will quietly tell Colombo that look, a Chinese warship in Sri Lankan port is always going to be a bit of a concern for India, and please keep things normal for us. That's the one point that will come across. As far as economic issues are concerned, logistical issues are concerned, roads, highways, all of that, these are issues that India and Sri Lanka want to work on. Of course, there are minor irritants like fishermen being arrested and all that. But those are issues, while problematic temporarily, they are considered manageable. So as a result, the relationship between the two countries are on a good or on very even keel. And hopefully there will be further movement this time.
So as far as Prime Minister's visit is also coming at a time when Sri Lanka is showing signs of recovery from the massive economic crisis. And India, remember, was one of the first countries that extended a financial aid of more than $4 billion during the crisis. Varshni has also been speaking to the people there. A warm welcome and a rousing reception that the Prime Minister received upon his arrival, and how the people are now looking forward to his visit. This is going to be a 3-day visit that we are looking at, and how people have been reacting to this visit. Let's listen in.
So you're going to meet Prime Minister Narendra Modi today. So how do you feel?
Really excited. I've been seeing him only on TV and reading the papers as well. What progress he has been doing for India as well as other nations in the Asian region. So I think this is a good time with the new president of Sri Lanka meeting him.
This is actually, it's a good opportunity that we have got, even Sri Lanka, with a new president, even Prime Minister Narendra Modi to come over here. We are expecting more, business-wise or even relationship-wise, that we will bloom more.
Yes, it's a very grand occasion, and it was a long-awaited visit from Modi ji. We all look forward, and in fact we do respect his leadership as one of the top leaders in the world, with an upcoming economy in India which is going to be topping the world shortly. So we look forward to the cooperation to be extended to Sri Lanka, because we need India's support.
Varshni, has the engagements for today begun? Is there any movement already taking place, as you are telling us that the Sri Lankan President has already arrived?
Yes, absolutely, yes. The ceremonial welcome that has been planned for Prime Minister Narendra Modi is about to begin shortly, with the Prime Minister is expected to arrive here any moment now. The Sri Lankan President has already arrived. He is standing right over there along with the Foreign Minister of Sri Lanka. And right now, as soon as the Prime Minister arrives, we're going to see a Sri Lankan government's honors that is going to be provided for the Indian Prime Minister. The military of the Sri Lanka is all set to welcome him, pay the state honors for him. And right now, as we speak, we are expecting Prime Minister Narendra Modi to arrive in any moment. And after these honors, after he receives this grand ceremonial welcome by the Sri Lankan government, he will be then heading to the presidential secretariat, where he will be meeting with the President of Sri Lanka, and they are going to have a closed door discussion regarding the important things that has to be discussed with respect to the two countries and the relationship. Post that, he will be meeting all the delegates, important top level leaders and top level officers of the Sri Lankan government, where they will be signing these MOUs. Almost 10 MOUs are expected to be signed today. Like I mentioned, it is it is very important to note that the first first and a key defense agreement is being signed between the two countries. And this is all about, exercises, joint exercises, training programs, supplies of, equipment and so forth and so on is what we are given to understand right now.
All
Though
right.
the official details of these MOUs are yet to be out, we are given to understand that these are the major things that both the countries are focusing on when it comes to joint military, exercises that they are planning to do from now on. And apart from that, we are also seeing that an energy MOU is also likely to be signed, and there is something that is also
So
in the
three-day
cards
visit,
about.
the state visit, as far as when it comes to bolstering the ties between India and Sri Lanka, as we are shortly expecting Prime Minister's arrival there, where he is expected to receive the Guard of Honor. And the Prime Minister himself last evening upon his arrival has said that he is landed in Colombo, grateful to the ministers and dignitaries who welcomed him at the airport, and he is looking forward to the programs in Sri Lanka. This is what the Prime Minister posted. Let's straight away